On 12 September 2017, Apple announced the iPhone X and its amazing new features like the 5.8-inch H2H OLED display, the new A11 Bionic chip, the facial recognition system, Face ID, wireless charging, and emojis. But what also is astonishing is its price tag. Starting at $1,000, it is the most expensive iPhone launch price. That's $200 more than the starting price for the iPhone 8 Plus and $300 more than the starting price for the iPhone 8. That's not it. The iPhone X in Australia starts at $1,234, $1,317 in the UK, $1,368 in India, $1,400 in Italy, and $1,455 in Hungary. That's about 45% more costly. But why is the iPhone X so expensive? Apple has made some design choices that raised the price of the iPhone X. The iPhone X has a stainless steel chassis, an upgrade over the aluminum chassis of the iPhone 8. Stainless steel is more costly than aluminum, and hence the stainless steel chassis of iPhone X is more costly than the aluminum chassis of the iPhone 8. The iPhone X also has a 5.8-inch H2H OLED display, which is one of its main features. OLED displays are significantly costly than LCD displays. Also, the biggest manufacturer of OLED displays in the world is none other than Samsung, which also provides OLED displays for the iPhone X. Samsung and Apple are rivals in the smartphone business, so this allows Samsung to charge Apple a premium for the OLED displays. The Samsung Galaxy S8 also has OLED display, but it costs way less than the OLED display on iPhone X, as S8's OLED display comes from Samsung itself, whereas Samsung charges a premium to Apple for OLED displays, and Apple does not like it. That is why Apple is trying to shift to LG for OLED displays for future phones, and in the future LG might be making the OLED displays for Apple. Now let's take a look at the manufacturing cost of an iPhone X. According to Tech Insights, the iPhone X costs about $357.5 to make. The iPhone X manufacturing cost is higher than the manufacturing cost of iPhone 8, but that's way less than the retail price of iPhone X of $1,000. That is because there are many other factors involved which raise the price of the iPhone X to $1,000. One of the factors which affects the cost of the iPhone X is marketing and advertising. Although Apple spends less money on advertising than other companies like Samsung or Google, it spends about $1.8 billion on advertising, and this affects the cost of the iPhones. But where Apple does spend money is research and development. Apple spends about $10 billion on research and development. Of course, that's on all of its projects like the iPhones, MacBooks, iPads, and other future projects. This also adds up to the price of the iPhones. Another factor is that Apple makes its own software, iOS, for the iPhones. Other companies like Samsung, LG, and Xiaomi use Android as operating system, which is made by Google. And there are a lot of smartphone companies who use Android as the operating system, and the number of Android smartphones is a lot more than the iOS-based iPhones. More than 85% of the smartphones run on Android operating system, and that is why, as Google makes Android for so many companies and smartphones, the cost of the Android operating system is less, and companies like Samsung license the Android operating system, whereas Apple makes its own software, iOS, and it's only for the iPhones, iPads, and that is very specific for a small range of Apple devices like the iPhones and iPads. This costs Apple a lot more money to make its own software than it does for other companies to license the Android operating system, and this raises the cost of the Apple devices. Besides these factors, one thing that Apple has that no other company has is its brand value. According to Forbes, Apple is the most valuable brand in the world. Apple is also the biggest company in the world with a market value of $800 billion. Also, Apple has a big fan base, people who like the Apple products and are in the Apple ecosystem of iPhones and MacBooks, and Apple sells a lot of its products. Apple has not sold less than 40 million iPhones in any quarter of the year since 2015. Apple has sold more than 1 billion iPhones since 2007. And because of this big fan base and brand value that Apple has, it allows Apple to charge a premium price for their products. This way, Apple makes huge profits. Unlike other smartphone companies like Xiaomi, who make great smartphones for a cheaper price point, I am not comparing Xiaomi phones to iPhones, but it is the ability of these companies to make profits from their phones according to their pricing. Xiaomi also sells a lot of smartphones, but it prices its smartphones very aggressively, and that makes their smartphones a very good deal for the price point, which increases their sales. But Xiaomi does not make much money from this, as they offer their phones for a very less profit margin because of their aggressive pricing. In 2016, Hugo Barra, then global vice president of Xiaomi, said that Xiaomi could sell 10 billion smartphones and then also not make a profit. This is because Xiaomi does not have a brand value as big as Apple, and hence it uses its aggressive pricing to offer great deals to sell its smartphones. But Apple has a big brand value and fan base, and hence Apple can leverage this and price their products at a higher price and sell their products at a higher profit margin and make huge profits. And that is why the iPhone X is so expensive. If you liked this video, then hit the like button, and also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos on various interesting topics. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. All the links will be in the description box down below. And thank you for watching.